and welcome back to the channel. Today I would like to talk to you about every runner's worst nightmare. We're covering off injuries. Let's get into it. Now I am currently nursing a lower left leg injury which has had me pretty much unable to run for the past 4 weeks. I've done a couple of short, slow ones, but it keeps flaring back up. At points I've been unable to walk, and it's just really been a massive bugbear of mine for the past month or so. Now the way that it all started, I was out one Monday lunchtime for a fairly fast 5k. As I was running, I rolled my ankle onto the outside, didn't really think anything of it at the time, it didn't really hurt, tweaked a little bit, I finished off the run. Now later that day, as I do every few months or so, I was giving blood. Now one of the things that they tell you when you're giving blood is not to do any strenuous exercise for the 24 hours or so after donating. Now the next day I did a really easy 7k or so at lunchtime, really stripped it back, nice, slow and steady, didn't really think anything of it. My left leg was feeling a little bit heavy, but I've ran through many niggles and pains before. The morning after that, so the Wednesday morning, I went out and did a half marathon. Now after about 12-13 kilometers or so, I start to feel a pain down the outside of my left leg. It got progressively worse. Again, just something that I would usually run through, but by the end of the run, as I was getting closer to home, my pace had really dropped. I just felt like I had no energy in my left leg whatsoever. All of that springiness and everything had gone all together. My plantar fascia felt like it had no energy, and really I just had no spring in my step at all. I got home, nothing out of the ordinary, sat down to work, and then a couple of hours later stood up from my desk and was just met with this sheer pain running all the way up and down sort of the front outer side around about the shin of my left leg. Trying to get up and downstairs was an absolute nightmare, and I put a post out on my Instagram story. If you don't already follow me, check it out at jamies.running, to ask whether it could be shin splints and what advice I could give. It felt as though, as I was coming downstairs in particular, that my shin just wanted to snap outwards. It felt there was a huge buildup of pressure around about the middle of the shin here. Now walking to start with was a real problem, and over time that started to get more and more easy. And as I say, I'm now almost 4 weeks in and I'm still struggling with it. Walking is a lot easier now, but there's certain things which hurt. So in particular, coming down the stairs, as I transition weight towards the front of my foot, I'm still getting a real pinch just around the outside of my calf here. The pain has moved around a bit over the course of the last 4 weeks, so it started right around the front. It then seemed to have moved. I did try and run after a week or so. It seemed to move around the back of my calf here, as if my muscles on the other side of my leg were overworking to compensate for a little bit of pain over here. At one point I had a really tight plantar fascia. Again, just no springiness in that whatsoever, but that came on as I tried to run a little bit, really slow and steady, through the injury that seemed to be stemming on this outside of the left leg. Now it's been a bit of a struggle over the last month or so because running is my outlet. Every morning I would get up, get out there, get it done, and that would just set me up in a positive mindset for the day. And I use running to burn off that little bit of stress and get me set up and ready for work and family life and all of that sort of stuff. And I just haven't had that for the last month or so, and it's just been a little bit of a nightmare. I have been trying to do a little bit of cycling, I've been doing some indoor HIIT workouts, but nothing really seems to get the blood pumping and the heart going quite like running does. And so it's just not hitting the same spot. I'm really desperate to get back out there. And to do so, I've been incorporating lots of tools and things like that to try and get over this injury. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk through some of the things that have helped to start alleviate this pain over the past 4 weeks. Still not quite there. I'm not feeling confident enough to run yet, but they certainly seem to have been helping. So one thing that I've been doing is wearing these rather fetching compression socks. They're medical grade compression socks that CEP very kindly sent to me after seeing that I was struggling on my Instagram story. So most days I've been wearing these just to help to stimulate a little bit of blood flow into the area. Now another thing I've been doing day in, day out is applying ice and heat therapy. So I picked up one of these sort of ice packs. The ice pack itself is in the freezer, but what you do is you put it in the freezer, freeze it down, stick it inside this little thing here, and you wrap it around your leg, and that just applies a bit of ice and a bit of compression to the painful area. What you can also do with the one I picked up, it was fairly cheap on Amazon, is to heat it up in the microwave. So I've been applying for the last few days some heat therapy as well, which really seems to alleviate that pain a little bit. In terms of the plantar fascia issue, when that tightened right up, I went on Amazon once again and picked up one of these, which is a foot roller. I've just been sitting with this under my work desk, and just as and when I just roll my foot over it and kind of twist the arch of my foot, depending on where there might be a little bit of a tight zone. And that really helped actually over the past week or so, just to loosen everything up. And I do feel over the last week or so, as I've been using this, that my plantar fascia has got a little bit of that elasticity back. The tightness that I was feeling in there has pretty much gone, so that's great. Before I was using that, I just found one of the kids' toy balls and I'd been rolling that on the underside of my foot. Again, just sitting with it under my desk as I was working. So you don't necessarily have to buy a tool online or whatever. You can probably just find something. It's a hard ball. Something like a ping pong ball would probably just crush under the weight of your feet. But this is a wooden ball, so if you are struggling with something like plantar fascia, you can probably find something around the house that you can use to help loosen that up. Another tool that I've been using is a massage gun. So this one in particular has lots of different heads, and all I've been doing with that is just giving a little bit of a massage to the affected area, kind of working down the outside of my calf here, working on this side of my calf, working the bottom of my feet, my Achilles, my quads, my hammies, basically all over my leg using this. And what that helps to do is it helps to loosen the muscles up a bit, and it helps to stimulate blood flow into the area as well. So that's been a big help. And actually, if you're interested, this one is by Ultra Recovery Pro. It's called the Repro gun. It's got 30 different settings, from very light and easy up to quite powerful. And I think if you use the discount code Jamie's Running, you get either 20 or so % off that. So it's definitely worth checking out. It's something that I was using quite a lot throughout my half marathon challenge last year, where I was clocking up mega miles every week. And then I got a little bit lazy with it in recent weeks, and would you know it, I ended up getting injured. I went to see a physio a couple of weeks ago and got some strengthening exercises just to help put some strength and energy back into the muscle and help with its recovery. And so some of those exercises include using an exercise band or a resistant band. Again, pick this one up on Amazon for really cheap. I could probably do with getting some lighter ones. This one is quite strong, and so it requires quite a lot of energy force through it to stretch it, which when my leg is feeling a bit weak and lacking in power, it's probably just a little bit too tight, got too much resistance. I need a bit of a lighter one, so I'll probably pick another one up. And exercises that I've been doing include, again, while I'm sitting working at my desk, I'm just wrapping it around the front of my foot, holding it and just extending my toes, just to put a little bit of resistance through the calf. And I'm sort of doing it in different angles as well, just to try and just basically strengthen up all of the muscles around here, because I think it's not just one muscle, there's probably a combination of issues that I've got throughout this leg. There's one particular pinch point, but everything around it is also a bit sore. Some other exercises that I've been trying to do, again, everything that I can just to try and strengthen all throughout this lower left leg, involve walking around on my tiptoes, walking around on my heels, really tensing up my leg, lifting my toes up just to put a little bit of tension through the front of my calf here. So I really am trying to just do a little bit of everything, but as it stands at the moment, there's still a little bit of pain. Now, in particular, as I transition weight, I'm sort of okay to walk now, but as I'm transitioning weight from my toe and then push off here, that is the point at which I feel shooting pain up the outside. And so I'm still just not confident enough to run, because it's as I land, I get a little bit of an impact jolt, and as I transition to move forward, I'm getting that toe off and that sort of pain as I start to try and push off into the next stride. So rest is another key thing that I've sort of been struggling to do, because I rely so much on burning off all of my energy. So I have given, I think, We're on to day 6 now without any running whatsoever. I did ride, go out for a bike ride probably about 4 days ago. I've been doing some core work and strength work and a little bit of upper body stuff just to kind of try and burn off a few calories and to do a little bit of exercise. But I've really rested my legs for the last 5 days or so. So I am feeling the benefit of that, and I think perhaps a few more days and I might see even more benefit and that little bit of pain might go altogether. But as it stands at the moment, I'm not confident yet to get out and get out running. As somebody that was so active throughout 2020, running sort of 80 to 100 kilometers per week, multiple half marathons each week, it's just been a real shock to the system, just having to stop that altogether. And so January, or the back half of January and into February, covering 0 miles in a week, it just feels really weird. I've lost all of that kind of routine, that daily get up at 5:40, get out there, get it done, get back for breakfast with the family. I'm finding that I've got less energy in the day. I just feel a little bit lethargic, a little bit, you know, a bit down. And so I'm really looking forward to building up that strength and getting back out there and getting it done. Not only that, but I've had a couple of new pairs of shoes land as well in recent weeks, and I've just been unable to get them out. So one of them is the Saucony Endorphin Pro, which I put out as my last video, the unboxing and first impressions. I've still been unable to take those out and really put them through their paces. I've got a couple more pairs as well, which I will share more about in good time, but yeah, desperate to get back out there. So for now, that's probably about it. Not a very exciting video, I know, just me sitting talking to the camera about how sad I am that I can't run at the moment, but I just thought I'd give a little bit of an update and share some of the tools and the approach that I've had to trying to get rid of this calf issue that I've got. If you've got any advice, or if you're struggling with an injury at the moment, let me know in the comments below. What are you doing to overcome it? And are you using any other types of exercise to keep your blood pumping while you're unable to run? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that sort of great stuff, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.